Okay, so for an AOA appointment, my patient is here, and the first thing I'm going to do is otoscopy. All right, so now that we've completed otoscopy and ran feedback on her new hearing aids, I have her place set up in front of the VeriFit, and we are going to start running a couple tests. I'm going to get you set up here. Okay, I've gotten you set up, so the first thing I'm gonna do is put this probe into your ear. It might tickle a little, but it shouldn't hurt. All right, you did great. Now I'm gonna insert this foam tip into your ear. You just need to sit there quietly and continue. All right, I'm just gonna run my first test here on the software. And it looks good. All right. All right, I'm gonna take the foam tip out of your ear and place the hearing aid in your ear now. This isn't how the hearing aid's gonna sound initially. This is just for the tests. All right, thank you for sitting there nicely. I've put the hearing aid on you, and now I'm just gonna run some tests in the software. So you're gonna hear a carrot passage, and it's going to repeat itself, and I'm gonna make some adjustments over here in the software. You just need to sit quietly and face forward. And let me start the first test. First, it's going to equalize. And we're all good.
A carrot is a long reddish-yellow vegetable which has several thin leaves on a long stem and which belongs to the parsley family. Carrots are grown all over the world in gardens and in the wild in the fields.
Okay, so now I'm going to make some adjustments in the software. And now I'm going to rerun that same test.
A carrot is a long reddish-yellow vegetable which has several thin leaves on a long stem and which belongs to the parsley family. Carrots are grown all over the world in gardens and in the wild in the fields.
All right, so now the next test that I'm going to do is it's going to be the same passage. It's just going to be softer. You just need to continue doing what you're doing.
A carrot is a long reddish-yellow vegetable which has several thin leaves on a long stem and which belongs to the parsley family. Carrots are grown all over the world in gardens and in the wild in the fields.
All right, that looks great. So now the next one is going to be quite louder.
A carrot is a long reddish-yellow vegetable which has several thin leaves on a long stem and which belongs to the parsley family. Carrots are grown all over the world in gardens and in the wild in the fields.
All right, I'm going to make a couple adjustments in the software.
Carrots are grown all over the world in gardens and in the wild in the fields.
Okay, I'm going to make a couple more changes in the software.
Wild in the fields.
All right, so that looks good. Now we're going to rerun average one more time to make sure we're all good.
A carrot is a long reddish-yellow vegetable which has several thin leaves on a long stem and which belongs to the parsley family. Carrots are grown all over the world in gardens and in the wild in the fields.
All right, and now you're going to hear some loud beeps. Let me know if they get uncomfortably loud, which they shouldn't. All right, and now we are done with this testing. I can get you unhooked and we can talk about how they're sounding in your ears. All right, so now I want to hear from my patient, how is the hearing aid sounding to you?
It's sounding a little bit tinny to me.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of these high frequencies and I'm gonna lower them a bit. How's that sounding now?
Sounding better.
How does your voice sound?
It sounds good.
All right, so now I'm going to save this session. All right, and now if my patient's happy with everything, we can start with the care and maintenance of the hearing aid.